Hey, Duncan here from Uplevel Green. If you give me 5 minutes, I'm going to explain all the actual facts about the government's Green Homes Grant. So this next 5 minutes should save you a lot of money. So in July 2020, this happy-looking chap, Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor, announced the Green Homes Grant, which is a plan to make the 2020 recession slightly less bad for everyone. So the idea was to help ordinary people save money at a time when they arguably need it the most, and also create jobs, and most importantly, perhaps, make sure that our planet is still a habitable planet for humans over the next few decades. So when he first made the announcement, the whole grant was a little bit vague. We knew it was £2 billion, but it wasn't 100% clear what it was for. But now these things have been cleared up and I'm able to answer the questions that you might have in this video. So things like, how much can you get? What can you get it for? How soon is this money going to run out? Will it cover things like solar? What if you rent? Is there anything you can do there? And lots more questions. So if you give me the next 5 minutes, I'm going to cover all that. So firstly, if you rent, unfortunately, you're straight out of luck here. I rent, and I wish there was more things that we could get like this. Unfortunately, unless your landlord is going to take advantage of it and then pass the energy bill savings on to you, which, call me cynical, I don't think they're probably going to do, then you're not in luck with this. However, I have created a tool which will help you, even if you rent, find different ways that you can save money by switching to greener alternatives of different products and services. So there's a link for that below. So how much money can you actually get towards all these different things? Well, if you're not on benefits, you can get up to £5,000 towards the cost of various home improvements, which I'll cover in a second. And these improvements would ideally save you up to £600 a year on your energy bills. The government will cover 2/3 of the cost and you'll have to pay the remaining third. If you're on benefits, however, you can get up to £10,000 towards any of these things, and the government will pay everything, so nothing out of your pocket. And what can you actually put this money towards? Well, according to a government publication from August 2020, you'll be able to get cash towards quite a few different things. There's two categories, primary and secondary. You'll only be able to get cash for a secondary one if you're already getting something from the primary one. So the primary ones are insulation and low carbon heat. So things in insulation that you might be able to get are things like solid wall insulation, cavity wall insulation, underfloor insulation, loft insulation, and a few other things. Then there's low carbon heat, so it's actually producing your own heat rather than just trying to keep it in. So things like air source heat pumps, ground source heat pumps, or solar thermal. Conspicuously missing here is solar electric generation, but I suspect this is because the electric grid, if you're looking at the system as a whole, is moving towards more renewable generation, so things like solar and wind for the whole grid. However, we haven't been able to do that for heating as much because we're getting nasty natural gas for most of our heating. So I think that maybe is why the focus is on that. However, for individuals, it can still make sense to go solar electric on your home, even without any extra cash from the government or anything like that. So I've made another video on that if you want to go learn more about solar PV. So if you opt for one of the things I just mentioned, then you'll also be able to get money towards things like draft proofing, new windows and doors if you're replacing single glazing, and heating controls like smart thermostats and fancy things like that. So that's what you can get, but what should you actually put your money towards? Well, it's going to vary a huge amount depending on your specific home and your budget. If your home is badly insulated, then that needs to be the top priority no matter what. But remember, each of these options will give you a return on investment. So energy prices keep going up every single year, and your cash which you're investing in this will come back in the form of those energy savings. With savings accounts paying virtually zero interest in 2020, it makes sense to put your money into something like this, and you'll actually get a better return than if it was just sitting around in a bank account. To decide if you should get a heat pump or solar thermal or things like that, you should really speak to a local expert, as I'll probably be boring you to death if I covered all the different variables you need to calculate this. That said, the typical payback time for different types of heat pumps and solar thermal is typically around 7 to 12 years for the right home. that's without these extra savings. So when the government is paying for 2/3 of the initial investment, then obviously that payback time is going to be massively reduced. So a burning question on everyone's minds with this is the cash going to run out? How quickly do I need to get on this? Short answer, unfortunately, is I think yes. There's £2 billion set aside for this scheme. 500 million of that is for people on benefits. So of the remaining 1.5 billion, then if everyone claims the most that they're eligible for, then it can be split amongst 300,000 homes. Well, guess how many homes there are in the UK? It's about 25 million. So, probably not going to last very long. I recommend getting on this as soon as you can. So how do you actually claim it? Well, the scheme goes live at the end of September 2020. Even if you're watching this video before then, I recommend getting in touch with a consultant, renewable energy expert locally to you to get the ball rolling and find out what system is going to work best for you. Because even with this government cash, you're still going to be investing quite a bit of money. You're going to want to spend some time figuring out what's going to give you the best return and what's going to be the best system for you. So I recommend doing that. They need to have one of two things. They either need to be Trustmark registered or they need to be MCS registered, so Micro Generation Scheme. And that's because the government wants to know who they're giving the money to and they need to be able to trust that they're going to do a good job. So just look them up through one of those schemes and you're good to go. So I hope this video is helpful. If you have any more questions about how this all works and everything, please leave them below. Any comments about the video, let me know and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you're interested in learning more about solar photovoltaics and whether that makes sense in the UK, I've got another video that just 100% covers that. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Please do subscribe and hit the notification bell as well. Cheers, bye.